From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
New this morning, Montana U.S. Senator Jon Tester talks about the likelihood of getting a new stimulus bill through Congress this weekend. Also this morning, a Christmas scam that can not only hit your pocketbook, but tear your heart open as well. Dating dangers, the focus of today's 12 scams of Christmas. And in another story seen first here on Montana This Morning, learn how new digital tools are making it easier than ever to find a lost pet. One Montana man shows how he found his lost cat. I'm not sure the cat knew it was lost, but that's how it goes. It's 6:30. Chet Lehman, Matt Elwell with you here. It is Friday, the final Friday before Christmas. Well, actually, Christmas is a Friday, so I don't know if that works. But
I don't know how it all works.
it's my
We're
little
a week
brother's
away.
birthday, too, by the way.
Really?
It's my little brother's birthday.
Happy birthday to Chet's little brother,
Lenny.
Hey, I knew it.
You did. Nice job. Yeah, that's well done.
Temperatures into the stories are numerous.
Yeah, they're vast.
Temperatures into the 20s for most of the area. 10 degrees in West Yellowstone. We are looking at a couple of clearing areas with our skies this morning, but I think for most of us we're looking at sunny skies for the afternoon, and then the clouds move in again for the evening. Temperatures holding into the 30s. We have some wind, some snow, a conjunction to talk about. We got lots of information coming up in the next 10 minutes.
Junction.
Oh, look at you.
There we go. 6:30. It is Friday. I don't know if you
Yes.
can tell by me. 6:31 now. There are still details being worked out, but Senator Jon Tester says he's happy to see some movement on a new stimulus package in Congress. And while $900 billion will only go so far, Montana's senior senator says he's very happy with that number. Talks are still underway in Washington, but a deal might not be final until this weekend. Senator Tester isn't sure how all that will be delivered, as details are still being developed. But he says at the start of the week, he didn't even think it was possible for a stimulus deal before the end of the session. So he's encouraged by the progress.
I think that this is a good package. There's going to be money for hospitals, which is really important. There's going to be money for schools. With distance learning and in-person learning, there's additional costs there. There's going to be help for businesses that have been really hit by this pandemic. I think it's good to have that targeted. There's going to be help for working families with unemployment extensions. Now, I haven't seen the language to make sure all those things are in there, but that's what I've been told is in there.
Although the package is likely to include $600 checks for individuals, Tester doesn't see any help for local governments, which he says is unfortunate because that could mean higher property taxes down the road as cities and counties try to make up their shortfalls. Well, the 5-person panel that will draw new legislative district boundaries in Montana has a new chairperson, but it still isn't known if Montana will be able to get a new congressional district next year. Montana Supreme Court this week appointed former law professor and Confederated Salish and Kootenai tribal attorney Maylin Smith. She'll take the place of former University of Montana President Sheila Stearns, who resigned for personal health reasons. The Districting and Reapportionment Committee has 5 members, 2 Republicans, 2 Democrats, and the chair. Now, the Montana Republican Party this week criticized the selection of Smith, saying she has a background of donating to Democratic candidates. But Democratic Commission member Kendra Miller says Smith has a solid reputation in the legal community. Miller also said census results determining whether Montana gets another congressional district might not be submitted until late January. That commission redraws Montana legislative district boundaries every 10 years to reflect population changes from the census. Well, the 10th scam of Christmas will cost you more money, and you're also looking at some heartache. We have a warning about romance scams and their impacts on victims. Turns out the perfect person you meet online may not be who they say they are. Holly Brantley reports this is happening on well-known dating sites to unsuspecting women and men, and the victims who do lose money, they lose a lot of money.
He's a perfect guy. He says the right things. He made me feel good.
He painted a picture that was more beautiful than any of the masters could have painted.
These are just a few of the voices who had their hearts broken and money stolen.
It has been very hard, especially I have kept it quiet from everybody.
This woman wanted to conceal her identity because her family doesn't know her secret. She lost $75,000 to a man she met on Tinder. And while Diane Simmons wouldn't disclose what she gave this man she met on Match.com, she wanted to come forward to warn others about the elaborate tales romance scammers tell.
Some catastrophe tragedy has happened and they're looking to you for help.
According to a Better Business Bureau study, victims in the U.S. and Canada have reported losing nearly $1 billion over the last 3 years, and that number may be low. Most people don't file complaints because they're too ashamed to tell anyone.
The challenge is we go online, we connect with somebody, and we immediately fall for their words. They make us feel loved, they make us feel valued, they speak to us up and they connect with us. They say all the right things because they're very good at what they do. But what ultimately happens is there is a break, a moment in which they ask you for money.
Victims of these scams often report losing high sums of money, thousands of dollars. To help you determine whether or not an online romance is a scam, there are online quizzes. Also, research the person's name and job. Diane caught on to her scammer when nothing matched on background check websites. And when we did a reverse Google image search of this photo sent to Diane, we found a stock image, but the head and sign had been altered.
Now, if you come across someone you think may be a scammer, report them to the dating website. Some of these websites, however, have come under fire for not immediately removing these profiles or alerting customers. So also be sure to report anything suspicious to law enforcement. Next week, 2 more scams to tell you about: fake shipping notifications and CBD scams. In other headlines this morning, it's a limited opening, but Bridger Bowl opened yesterday. There's limited acreage and the number of people who can be on the mountain also limited so far this year. You need to make a reservation 4 days ahead. You can find a link on our website for how to do that. Lessons, by the way, are still available as well. In other news, right now in Bozeman, dogs are dealing with their own contagious virus. Kennel cough is a collection of different viruses and bacteria that cause an upper respiratory infection in dogs. It is highly contagious and in serious cases can lead to pneumonia and more serious conditions.
2 to 3 weeks ago, we were seeing 3 to 4 cases a day just at our veterinary clinic. In the past week, it's probably down to about 1 case per day. So I'd say it seems like we're through the worst of it, but it is something that can come back pretty quickly.
Now, if you suspect your dog might be suffering from the virus, you should reach out to your pet's primary care physician immediately. Refrain from bringing your dog around other dogs. Cats can get it as well. Well, another pet story. Finding a lost pet has changed amidst the pandemic. MTN wildlife correspondent Tanner Saul shows us how our shift online may help these missing pets.
I think he's well happy now.
When hiking in the woods with my friends, we stumbled upon a cat. But in this situation in the pandemic, it was a little more interesting to try and find the owners. For many, it's a nightmare when a pet goes missing. It can feel like an overwhelming and daunting task trying to bring your pet home safely, and the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic may be making locating a lost pet more difficult. Now, in this situation, most people would knock on the doors of nearby neighbors to see if the little one belonged to anyone in the area. However, in the midst of the pandemic, that may not be the most practical approach. Sierra Lennox is the shelter manager at the Humane Society, and she helped me understand how the pandemic affects missing pets.
Make as much of our operating and adoption process virtual as possible and contactless.
On a Facebook post regarding the cat, we found that there were just under 30 comments, and it was shared a total of 27 times.
People are leaning more on virtual tools, that reuniting process is much easier on the community and pet owners.
Since more people are working from home, the lost pets may actually go through less stress.
Maybe if anything, there are more people in the community that are willing to hold the dog, say like, I'm going to search for the animal on my own because I'm working at home and I can monitor the animal. And that's always great because then the animal doesn't have to be in this environment, which is more stressful as much as we try to make it not that way.
Sierra emphasizes to reach out with any needs.
I want people to know we're a resource. If they need food or supplies, I know COVID's really tough on pet owners. Even if it's something that we don't offer on our website, reach out to us and we'll either try and help through our organization or connect you to someone who can.
In the case of the missing cat, we found we were able to locate the owner via Facebook, and she is now safe back at home with her family. In Missoula, Tanner Saul, MTN News.
Now, Sierra also reminded us if you find a healthy-looking cat in a residential area, its home is probably nearby, so you don't have to worry if it's missing. It's just being a cat. 6:39, we're going to take a quick break here on Montana This Morning. We come back taking a look at who's next in line for vaccinations. That is being debated across the country. But first, let's take a look at what's coming up at 7 o'clock on CBS This Morning.
Good morning. Ahead on CBS This Morning, with the coronavirus pandemic spiraling out of control, the FDA could be just hours away from authorizing the Moderna vaccine. We have an exclusive report from a hospital where no ICU beds are available and show you what a second vaccine would mean. Also, in our Vaccinating America series, a closer look at the efforts to spread a positive message about coronavirus shots. And we'll go live to the White House, where Vice President Mike Pence will be vaccinated on camera this morning. And 2020 has changed our country forever. We'll look back at the crucial moments and people that helped shape this unprecedented year. We'll see you at 7.